Hello everyone and welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei Day 3 action, where we are here on the secondary stream live from Southern California. And if you guys are wondering, Southern California, that's not in Taipei, unless they just recreated entire Southern California,
Unless it
which I
was
think
like,
they are capable of.
no, I know the secret, man. It's like in Superman when the San Andreas Fault fissures off, California floats out into the ocean, and we actually eventually hit Taiwan, and then where we are just happens to collide with where Taipei is, and it's just you knew Taipei.
Yeah, I
In a weird alternate universe, that's actually kind of possible.
With everything that they are building over there in Southeast Asia, I actually think they could just recreate Los Angeles if they really want to. The only thing they won't have is the sun, though. Haha, that's what makes it awesome. And then all your palm trees will die, and it still won't be the same as Southern California.
I don't think the palm trees could survive here without the artificial stuff half the time, to be honest.
Alright, anyways, let's take a look at the bracket tournament real quick, as we had a lot of StarCraft 2 action so far, and we are getting ready to hop into our final series of the B stream. From this point on, it's almost all going to be mainstream. We just have one more best of 3 ahead of us. This is what happened yesterday in Taipei, as Hero went on to win his group. Hyun was the runner-up. Rain won his group. That, of course, makes my Protoss heartbeat even faster, as Classic was the runner-up. I can make this even bigger for you guys. Looks better. As Life won Group C earlier today, and Sorky was the runner-up. Obviously, he was 2-1 in matches, as somebody had to drop a best of 3, but Sorky looked really good. I'm very happy to see Sorky playing that well. These are just two monster Zergs. And now on the winners, on the mainstream, we are going to have the winners match of Group D. That's going to be Parting versus Maru, while we will be covering the lower bracket match between True and Hydra.
Yeah, True and Hydra going at it in a ZvZ. True, one of the guys that I think pretty good in that matchup. He had a lot of good results in ZvZ in Pro League throughout the 2014 season. True, Roach player in ZvZ from the games that I can recall. Hydra, I think pretty standard. We got to see Hydra play quite a bit of ZvZ actually when we hung out with him at the Battlegrounds Global, where
it was pretty much a Zerg festival anyway.
Yeah, it was pretty much only Zergs, aside from, what, anime?
Yes, that's
and
correct.
Pole, MMA and Pole.
Yeah, there were 4 Zergs and 2 Terrans and no Protoss. And we even had Litut, who was another Zerg or Terran expert.
It's like, well, you know, Todd, you can just do the play-by-play and really try to hype up the ZvZ.
And he's like, I'm not really a play-by-play caster.
It's not really my thing.
I am an analyst, as I actually play this game, unlike you two. It's like, oh.
Well, now we've got the upper hand on him.
Yeah, I know. It's like, well, Johan, I think you are the play-by-play caster right now. And then he's like, well, I play you best of 3 any day of the week. Shout out to Johan, has been doing a great job so far at the Intel Extreme Masters, especially yesterday in the Protoss group. I think he casted every single best of 3 of that group. He seemed to be having a lot of fun with it, as of course every Protoss would have fun casting the likes of Classic, Rain and Hearthstone. For us right now, we are invited into Deadwing. That's going to be the first map of this ZvZ. Nate, ZvZ is obviously not our favorite matchup. You don't play Zerg, I don't play Zerg as main race. But it is definitely a matchup that can be very fun, especially, you know, if they are involving a lot of mind games. You know, I make a few units in the phase game where I normally shouldn't, but I think it's going to work, but then the other player expects it. And it can get very fun. It can also be a boring matchup where just neither player decides to do anything. But overall, I think it's a matchup that has a lot of, how would you say that, beauty underneath.
Yeah. ZvZ is one of those matchups that is difficult.
ZvZ is like Pretty Woman. No, wait, what's that other movie where, you know, there's like this one girl, it's like the nerdy school, it's like the art, you know, she does like the art, and then there's like this hot guy, this hot guy, man, that sounded weird. And there's like this good-looking guy who makes a bet with his friend that he can get together with that girl, and he wants to go to prom with her, and then eventually she finds out. There's a name, you know that movie, it's really famous. And then, like, eventually she finds out that it was all a play, and she gets really disappointed. And then the guy suddenly realizes that he made a terrible mistake, because the nerdy girl actually turns out to be a very beautiful girl. It's a very famous movie. I'm sure you know it. No? I am sure you know. Someone in Twitch chat right now knows which movie I make. It's like this guy makes a bet with his friend. He's like, I bet I can take her to prom. And they are like, no way, man. She's way too geeky. She's like into art stuff, and she doesn't do anything. And then later on, he realizes that she's super beautiful. And in the end, they do get together. I kind of spoiled the movie for everyone, but it's very old, so it's okay. It's like, that's like spoiling Pearl Harbor. It's like, well, I wonder what's going to happen.
Thanks, Kev.
Alright, well, anyways, you don't know. 10 Things I Hate About You? Is that the movie? It could be. Could be.
It's Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
No, then I haven't seen it. No. I've seen a different movie.
That movie is on Dutch television like every second week. It's like, hey guys, we have nothing planned for Friday night. Well, let's just do the 10 things I hate about you. Anyways, over here in the right bottom side of the map, we have the man who recently made the switch to the WCS. Well, what is it? America? Europe? To the Western WCS. It is
WCS.
Hydra.
For all intents and purposes.
Had a very unfortunate first series of the day against Sparding. Was never really able to find his rhythm or his groove in that series, but let's see if he's able to do better against the terrifying Zerg on the right top side of that wing. It is the one and only True, who's representing Dead Pixels, I believe is the clan called.
Yeah.
Man, I have one dead pixel on my screen at home. It's bothering me.
Really?
Yep.
On your monitor?
Yep.
That you play StarCraft on?
Yeah. One dead pixel. It's always teal.
Wow, it's very clear to me that you don't have a BenQ monitor, Kev.
I do not. I should though. I should have a BenQ monitor.
The dream.
Yep. I keep trying. One day I'll get one.
Well, I mean, I guess the team, right? Hopefully it's not as... Well, I guess the one thing about dead pixels is you can't get rid of them, right? So this team should be around for a while, by that logic. These guys sticking around.
You know, when I bought my PSP, it was released, like in the first wave of PSPs, there were a lot of PSPs released
mine
with
had
dead
mine
pixel.
had a dead pixel on it, yeah.
Yeah, mine had dead
I had
pixel
to have
too.
mine sent in and get it.
Yeah, I didn't do that, and I regretted that to the day of today. Like every single time I played a game, I was looking, just staring at
You
that
can't
one
help
pixel.
but look at it when you
Yeah.
once you notice it. It's
No,
it's all ogre.
Yep, it's just like what is seen can be unseen.
That's like when you play on a 120 hertz monitor and then you go back to playing on anything else,
Yeah.
and your brain explodes.
I have never had the money to get a 120 hertz monitor.
Well, my eyes are ruined, Kev.
Why do you laugh, Nate? Do you think these Vegas trips are free? Anyways, Overlord has scouted, as both players know, where they spawn. So far, everything is remotely similar if it wasn't for the fact that True took his gas a lot quicker than Hydra took it. Hydra should have a pretty good idea that that is exactly what happened. No, well, he sees the spawning pool wiggle. That's pretty much all he has to see. He doesn't have to see the extractor. Even though it would be nice to know if he's still mining gas or not, if he can expect banelings as the follow-up of the speed links. But it is kind of unlikely that someone is just going to put all of his eggs in a Zergling baneling. You know, what year is this, Nate? Is this 2010 Shadow Temple?
Maybe.
No, it's not. Stop.
So for ZvZ, trying to take stock of things. We're not far enough into the game for me to just not shut up about roach upgrades. So I will say that I feel like I don't think either of these players are like the mega crazy all-in type guys.
No, I mean it's very unlikely that Hydra's even able to go for some sort of all-in. His gas was pretty late. He's still not getting speed, so I guess he's just going to...
What if he just goes for a quick layer? Oh, that's spine. He's gonna get a layer.
Yep, probably throw a Roach Warren down with a couple of Evolution Chambers and make a full wall up. How many speedlings do we have on the map for True? Only 6 right now. Work count shows us 30 for Hydra. Man, Hydra is actually in a pretty good economic position. He's making more and more drones. If he's able to just not take any damage, which he shouldn't, as soon as the wall up... Oh, Queen, you not fat enough, sir. Or woman, I should say.
Tricky. So he gets in. It's nice because he can scout a few things. First of all, you know, seeing that there's no gas. Oh, seeing that there's gas and the spawning pool's not wiggling.
And the most important thing is that he can just see how much gas is being mined, and he's actually super annoying with this. Gets 3 drones with that silly run by of only 6 Zerglings. So while I liked Hydra's position before, now I kind of like True's position again. I think that's kind of all he needed.
Yeah, Hydra couldn't spend his money either because he lost one of his overlords to the Queens of True. So.
Is Hydra gonna try to go up to 3 hatcheries as quick as True's?
I mean, I still like Hydra's position more. If he hits a push with his roach speed and +1, he's gonna have a better army.
Roach speed? His layer ain't even done yet, Nate. What have you been smoking before the cast?
True hasn't even started his layer, Kev. This is ZvZ. This isn't TVT. You're not gonna win with less units.
Well, he can counterattack for days. This is that wing. You can counterattack in so many ways. It's almost like you can do it for days. Rhymes.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I still think that Hydra's got a very solid shot of doing some damage with how much faster his tech is. The lair still hasn't started for True.
No, but he's on 3 hatcheries. You know how many units he's going to be able to produce? Like, speed roaches are great, don't get me wrong. But, you know, if you have 15 speed roaches and your opponent has 25 slow roaches, you're not going to win.
I believe in a thing called lair. I think lair is all that in a bag of chips. Perhaps more so than I should. But I'm also not a Zerg player. So.
Well, both upgrades are going down for True at the same time.
Now that I do really like.
Yep. I mean, he's in a great economic position. He's up 7 workers. His third base is up and running already. Hydra doesn't know about this, as the Overseer is flying over it and in an Overlord lurking away all the time as well. He's gonna use a bunch of Overseers to drop some Contaminates, I guess, on maybe...
How is True still not started his lair? That
Yeah.
bothers me. I'm upset.
Yeah, he should. I think he's worried about the Roach attack that's about to come, because he knows how much later this base was. So he's like, alright, if your attack is not coming soon, why is there... Okay.
Yeah, that's not Hydra's queen. He's not that crazy. But picking off a full energy queen would be nice. He does get it.
It's super nice, actually.
Damn.
Okay, now I'm starting to agree. He's just using all of his gas into defensive roaches. He knows that roach speed is about to finish up for his opponent, but this is exactly what I meant. Hydra's already down in roaches, Nate. One of his roaches is very low on HP. And, you know, how is he going to attack? It's not like speed is that great when all 3 bases are connected to each other. And at the moment, there's only one way to enter these 3 bases anyway. Eventually, there may be 2. But right now, yeah, you can have speed all you want, but you're not going to be able to do anything with it.
Well,
Like,
so here's the nice thing.
tell me.
True just started his lair. And for how late it is, he can't, he won't have his +2 started as fast. So at some point, Hydra's going to have +2 attack, +1 carapace against just 1/1.
I really like the way, sorry mate that I interrupt you there, but I really like the way that True has approached this matchup. I agree with the points you made about roach speed. If it's like Expedition Lost, you know, where the third base is so wide open and you would have to run around and you even have to worry about a backdoor and stuff, but on this map where there's basically only one entrance in 3 bases, you can have roach speed all you want, but you can't do anything with it. So now True is sitting
but True
on...
can have all the roaches in the world, but without roach speed, he can't leave his base without getting backstabbed.
Yeah, but by the time that he leaves his base, he's gonna have better upgrades and more roaches.
Okay, that I agree with. I won't argue with you on that one. I mean, the economy thing hurt Hydra a lot. I guess I was expecting him to make better use of his faster attack. His roaches will still be better, but I guess...
Will they be better though?
Like I said, for a brief moment, he's gonna have a 1-upgrade advantage, which for roach versus roach is a big deal.
I mean, he's gonna have a 1 upgrade advantage for maybe 60, 70 seconds. I don't think that's going to be a moment where he will truly be able to ride on that advantage.
Okay, I agree with you.
I definitely think it's still possible for Hydra to come back in this game, don't get me wrong, because roach versus roach is all about the engagements anyway. Maybe one player will drop the infestation pit, start researching pathogen glands.
Hydra's going for banelings with his too, so this is his way of, I guess, getting around the problem that you mentioned. Although banelings are very expensive, so I'm not sure how exactly that mitigates the issue.
He's
Well,
down.
True also gets a baneling nest.
Banelings versus Banelings has to be the most fun fight to cast.
It only takes 2 to kill 20, so...
And that goes for both ways. So that makes for some really interesting micro. Actually, I suck so hard at that. I don't play ZvZ super often.
That's like a tournament that I would actually sponsor. I would watch, like, just give 2 players 200 banelings and see which one of them can get away, like which one of them wins.
That sounds awesome, but also really fun. I tune in. Hydra takes out the backdoor rocks. You know, in the end of the day, it all looks relatively even now. Right now, this is the moment that Nate was talking about, where he has a small upgrade advantage, but that won't be for long, as the double evolution chamber is definitely working for True. He should be able to max out a little bit quicker, so he has a lot of money saved up, by the way, and that's why he could have been maxed out already. Now Hydra is going to be maxed out as well. Baning speed is about to finish up for Hydra. It's a very even game in the long run. 54 roaches against 54 roaches proves my point that it's a very even game.
Yeah, and that actually ends up strongly favoring True because he's gonna have that carapace upgrade advantage.
Getting tunneling claws as well.
So now I really like True's position.
Both players getting their forward bases. I don't really understand. Oh my
True
god, this fight,
has,
Nate.
True also has a bank.
You understand that this fight is going to be silly, right? There's going to be so many banelings on both sides.
There's gonna be so many banelings.
So many banelings, Artosis, of
so
course.
many banelings.
Big shout out
Oh,
to
look at what True's doing.
what?
Look how many spore crawlers in production, dude. He's gonna over
He's
rustle.
gonna pull a snoot. He's gonna pull a snoot.
Over max.
215 supply. Hydra, you're gonna have a really hard time attacking into a 215 supply Zerg while being down an upgrade. The only thing he has going for himself right now.
True didn't start his banelings. True never made banes.
Yeah, I know, they're late. Here come the banelings from Hydra. Nate, take it away.
And he's gonna move him in. All the banelings smashing in.
Oh,
On top of this, he's
no!
gonna use his banelings to cancel the other banelings, and it actually works pretty reasonably well, except for the fact that True does a pretty good amount of roaches. But yeah, that True's banelings do nothing.
This was way better for Hydra, despite being down an upgrade. True never started his banelings.
I can safely say I've never commentated about it like that before. That is a first.
I think Hydra has just won this game because True his banes were not ready.
Why didn't he make the...
He was too busy over maxing. He had 215 supply. Man, I did see that before. I should have brought it up again because I was like, his Banes are not ready yet. But I was like, there's no way that's actually going to be relevant. I'm sure he will morph them into Banelings soon.
Why?
I mean, True is still alive. And he has lost 12
he's
drones.
still alive, yeah, but I mean at this point he's got 3 bullets in him and he's just barely trying to stagger his way towards the back door to get out of here.
If he's 50 Cent, he makes another record about it and he becomes really rich.
Well, I don't know, Kev. He doesn't have that much of a bank left.
Yeah, that's when he starts rapping. 3 shots couldn't drop me. I took it and smiled. Now I'm back to set the record straight. With all my roaches, I'm still the Zerg you love to hate. That's Tupac, by the way. I know that's Tupac for the Tupac fans out there. Oh my God, there's one of them.
You could have gotten away with it with me, Kev.
Yeah, no, but I wouldn't want to get away with that.
You wouldn't want to wrongly educate me.
No, I wouldn't want to, confuse Tupac with 50 Cent. As much as 50 Cent, has a very respectable career for himself, Tupac is a legend. 50 Cent, well, his lyrics are not as touching. Tupac sings about stuff that matters.
I can't argue with you. I am not a seasoned veteran in this demographic.
All right. Anyway, Hydra's gonna try to go for the attack one more time. True has bought some time for himself though. He has no bank, so he's much more poor, but he does still have that upgraded advantage. And I love the concave this time for True. I think he might be able to win this battle, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, True does have that nice spread, like you mentioned. Hydra, though, still has that. I feel like he had an army supply advantage at some point before all of this, but is he actually losing this fight?
No, I think he is losing the fight, especially when the reinforcements for True
let's be honest, we're casting Roach versus Roach. It's always kind of awkward, but things to keep in mind is that True has had that one upgrade advantage the entire time.
We were actually right this fight, but Hydra misread a couple of roaches there. Throws away 6-7 roaches for absolutely nothing.
But
True,
carapace though.
Yeah, True, that was a great fight for you, but it doesn't mean you can counterattack because you lost the first fight so hard that your opponent actually had 2,000 minerals when this fight started and you had nothing. So it's very deceiving. Yes, you won that fight, but it doesn't mean that you can run across the map and try to win because that is not going to happen.
No, he's continuing to push forward. Hydra does have the +2 carapace halfway done, and he's trying to win with that superior number count. This is actually really nice because he doesn't target the units that are burrowed once they're weakened, so it's making it a little bit more difficult to actually finish the roaches off of True. And, once again, the upgrades. They're so important, Kev.
Yep, but that second armor upgrade, or carapace upgrade, I should say, for Hydra is more than halfway done. So both players have been throwing their lead so far, back and forth. First, True was ahead, but then he decided not to make Banelings, and his opponent had 38 Banelings, and obviously 38 Banelings are a little bit better than 38 Zerglings. Then Hydra attacked into a very beautiful concave of True, and that kind of set the record straight, and now we're back to even. He's gonna get his second armor. I like the fact that True has tunneling claws. And he was using burrow as well during that fight. We didn't actually give a shout out during that, but
no, like I said, he wasn't. When he burrows, it unaggroes the roach. So if you're just A moving, then you don't actually finish the roaches off that burrow.
No, I like it a lot. I think it's a great play.
So
it's something that I want to give a shout out to Happy, a Russian Terran player. In Warcraft 3, Happy was literally the best Zerg, I want to say, best undead player in the world when it came to burrowing fiends. Fiends were, kind of like roaches, but then they were a lot more expensive and a lot more powerful, I guess, as well. She has way fewer units, but you could burrow them as well. And Happy was so good with it, an absolute monster.
Man, I'm not. That game is also outside the scope of my expertise.
It was great, Nate. Just trust me.
I'll believe you on that one.
I mean, True did well the last fight, but I don't think he can attack into this army of Hydra, especially because Hydra has once again like 40 Banelings rolling forward. True is just running around with his roaches, trying to not take too much splash damage.
Oh my goodness.
Did a pretty good job in doing so, but he's still going to end up losing that fight.
Hydra is also putting out roaches, and Hydralisks behind all of this. Yep. Hydras are coming out.
Yeah, that's not difficult to say at all, Nate.
No.
Well, True is still maxing roaches. I really like how this is going for a root player. I think he's slowly but steady starting to pull ahead again. He has more money in the bank. He won the last 2 fights. Other than this one fight over here, this game has been going well for him, despite, in my opinion, a slightly inferior build.
Yeah. I'm sort of trying to get a good grasp on this. Did he not get Hydralisk green? No, not yet. That is an important upgrade. He's going to go for... Okay, he started
got speed first.
Then he canceled it.
Okay. I mean, he should really get burrow, man. Like, I hate seeing these orange HP roaches while his opponent is always
so weak,
all
man.
green.
That's why you need sometimes. He needs to get.
True sets up a flank as well. He might be able to flank a couple of these Hydralisks. Of course, there are Banelings as well. Baneling, Pain Train. This is such an awkward fight for both players right now.
Yeah, you don't want those Hydralisks to be exposed at the back flank.
The
roaches move faster than them, so the Hydras are becoming slowly exposed, but these roach forces super clumped up. The way he moves the banelings across the side to splash against the front line
Good
is actually
split.
really nice.
I think that True has been handling this quite well. Despite the fact he's down in supply, I feel like the majority of the units from Hydra is in production. Now this terrain is actually working against True a little bit. The Hydras are pushing out quite a bit of damage.
Yeah,
And
there's still a few Hydralisks alive in this, and that just gives him such an extra amount of DPS, allowing him to Shrek this army and get ready to move on towards that 4th base.
Yep, he's getting closer and closer. Still few Hydras alive. He's doing a really good job in repositioning those Hydras. The reinforcements for True, of course, will participate in this battle immediately, which is a huge advantage. And that is why True is able to push Hydra back for now good barrel play again. Really solid barrel play over there.
Yeah, making a good, really good use of it.
Here are the reinforcements from Hydras though. Those are the reinforcements I was mentioning earlier when he was still up in supply. He made like 30 roaches. The burrow micro is really good here by True. If he's able to hold here, it's all because of his burrow micro.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job with it, and despite the fact that the
Oh
upgrade
my
for
God.
evened out, Hydra cannot
sick.
win the battle despite having a superior supply.
I think this is the moment where Hydra should be like, hey, this burrow upgrade is pretty good. I think I should get it.
Yeah, or target fire down the damn burrowed units.
I want to find the, why is he dropping creep over here, Nate? I want to find the reasoning behind
You know,
this.
he's just having fun, okay? Leave him alone. He went away from everybody else for a reason, Kev. No need to bother him.
Come on, Hydra, get some burrow as well. I know you're kind of broke right now. It's amazing how these players have been making roaches on 4 bases and actually they broke. That's when you know that this has been a true slugfest, because roaches are very, very cheap. Oh my god, look at this! It's a 24-minute game.
Cheeky, cheeky.
They have both lost 300 units, even though the units from Hydra were slightly more expensive because he made a
How
few
is
more
that
banelings.
even? How does that even happen?
That they both lost 300 units?
Yeah, and now there's like a standstill of time where.
I know, it's beautiful. It's a mirror matchup, Nate. It's been a really cool game. It started off slow, but after that I think it really picked up. And
You know that units lost tab is actually really deceiving too. Did you know that banelings that blow up from their attack command don't count as resources or units lost?
Really? That's
Really?
weird.
But
then I don't
a
understand.
baneling that gets killed counts as a resource / unit lost.
That is very strange. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
That makes it even more appalling
Yeah.
to me that it's the same units lost.
Hmm.
I'm more impressed now. I'm 100% sure.
Hydra, I don't think you can attack into this, man. This is a beautiful concave. I know you have slightly more supply and you have a few Hydralisks. He's going to try. Maybe the Hydras can make the difference. Upgrades are even. It is a full surround by True, but does he have the damage output he needs to kill this army of Hydra?
Hydras in the center are still able to dish out a significant amount of damage at this point. We're not seeing quite as much of that burrow play.
Yep.
And keep in mind,
Hydra
some
wins.
more units coming from the south now for Hydra too.
Yeah, I think Hydra has finally done it, Nate. I think those Hydras were able to push out enough damage. It was a beautiful surround by True, but in the end he had slightly fewer units, and he was also down, you know, in potential DPS because he didn't have any Hydras himself. He's still trying to use some of that Roach Barrel play now, but this time he's down 60 supply. And I think our root for root Zerg player has finally done it. Look at the resource loss tab now, it's just dead even. Hydra lost slightly more resources before, so that just shows that this battle was a huge victory for him in the end. He has sick micro or macro behind this as well. 181 supply again. Where does he get the units from, Nate Torino?
I don't know, man. Got him on loan.
Actually, pay loans. Don't use pay loans, guys. These roaches, one day you have to pay them back.
The interest on these roaches next game he plays.
If you hire a roach now, we promise we won't call you until we demand Neutralisk back. That seems really unfair. I have no money for that.
Well, that's how they get you. Vicious cycle.
Couple of good transfuses being dropped left and right by True, but Hydra just has too many units right now dancing in the natural of True. As True tries to make his final stand, but it's not going to be enough. Root for root. Hydra takes a 1-0 lead in a very cool ZvZ on that wing. A very evenly matched ZvZ where it looked like True was ahead, but then he only made Zerglings, made it up to 215 supply, had a good concave, but he had like 60, 70 Zerglings, because he already had 40 Zerglings, then he made like 30 more or something. Yeah, he made 30 more because it was 215 supply. Exactly 30. But yeah, I would rather have 40 Veilings than 70 Zerglings. I think it's safe to say that 40 Veilings is slightly more effective. And after that we just saw a couple of great battles. Sick APM by both players as well. 322 against 300 in a 26-minute game. My fingers would hurt, Nate.
Yeah, that's...
I have 140 APM and my fingers hurt. I can't imagine clicking 2.5 times.
I don't even know how you're supposed to do more. Like, my craziest games, I think I average about like 220, 230. Like if I'm really going crazy, like I'll hit 240. But how could my fingers do like how's it even possible to do 300 like that?
For 28 minutes straight.
322, like, I don't know. I need an upgrade, man.
Yeah. The only time I hit 300 is in the first minute of the game.
That's the best
Kappa.
part, when we hit the singularity in our lifetime, when the robots take over. We just get a cyborg hand, so it doesn't matter how old we are, we can still be RTS
Yeah,
gods.
it's all about what we think about. We don't even have to do it ourselves anymore. It's like,
Well, at that point, our brains might be turned to mush too, but we'll get computer chips in them, so we'll
no,
be
yeah, we'll be smart. We'll get an update.
good.
We'll be Nate and Roddy 2.0. All right, we are ready to hop into game number 2. This could potentially be the final game of the Intel Extreme Masters secondary stream. Of course, there will be so much more mainstream action. We truly hope that you guys have enjoyed listening to our silly commentary over the last 3 days. If you did, let us know. Hashtag IEM, at Rotterdam08, at Nathanius TV. Right.
TV?
Yeah?
I'm a TV.
You're like Mr. Bitter, both of you guys at the TV. That's the only reason why I could work with you
Well,
guys.
there's some person with like 3 followers that's never tweeted before that's holding the Nathanius Twitter handle.
One day you'll get it, Nate. That is the ultimate dream, I know.
Hashtag the dream.
Over here on the left top side, I should switch names, I guess. On the left bottom side of Overgrove, we have the one and only Purple Zerg player representing Root. It is Hydra. Of course, a very exciting player. This is basically a sneak peek for the entire 2015. Because some of you guys may be like, oh, I'm not that familiar with Hydra. Well, you're going to be very familiar with him by the end of the year. Because this guy is going to make multiple deep runs in ZvZ. I'll guarantee you that. And over here on the right top side of the map, we have our Blue Zerg representing Dead Pixels. It is True.
I mean, Hydra's pretty much like one of the guys to beat in WCS because, I mean, you look at the Korean players, and he coming off of the Kespa regime, the Pro League practice. He's scary, man. Those guys were all really, really scary.
Mm-hmm.
Although I guess it's also, you know, a lot of these guys are kind of known as well for falling off once they leave Kespa. So that's another storyline.
But I think I think that goes for some of the guys who have won like $100,000s of dollars already. But I think a player like Hydra, who didn't really have that big break yet, who never received a $10,000 payday, you know, unless I'm not familiar with his Boudoir pass. But I think for him, like even then, it would be years ago. In WCS right now, in the Western WCS, Hydra has an opportunity, a unique opportunity, to make a ridiculous amount of money while not having to beat Parting, Sorky, Rain, Classic, Live, Tasia. You know, he has to beat 4GG, Pold, and then some of the absolute best Europeans and North Americans, but that is still, you know, with all due respect, easier than the Marus or
significantly
the
easier than making a run through the GSL.
I don't think that Hydra is going to fall off. I think he's going to go all out this year. I think he's going to practice like a machine, and I think we're going to see him have by far the most successful year out of his StarCraft 2 career.
And I think it'll be fun. I'm excited. Hydra's a cool guy. Look at this Overlord. Is that a moment of silence for the Overlord, Kev? You think Overlords jam out when they're flying across the map? They have like little earbuds.
Yeah, they probably have earbuds in. I can see them listening to some 80s tunes. I don't think Overlords are that hip. Like I don't see them listening to One Direction or something. Or
well, you know, I mean, I imagine like in the future that Overlords will move as fast as like the BPM in the song, so they must be listening to something really, really slow.
Yeah, maybe, you know, like sweet dreams are made of this.
Ah.
Everybody wants to be an overseer. And then one day they evolve and then this really happens.
I travel the map. Yeah, that's the 7 maps, yeah. Everybody's scouting for something. That's some of them want to cheese you. This is actually too good.
Some of them wants to be cheesed by me. That is, I think, exactly what is going on.
That's you could not have picked a better song to describe what an Overlord would listen to.
All right, so the gas is a little bit later for Hydra. True stopped mining gas for a split second and is now going back to mining gas. Curious. Oh, Roach Warren going
The
down.
Roach Warren. That's a pretty quick one, Kev.
Yeah, that gives me the idea that we might see some crazy Roach Bane shenanigans. Make a bunch of Zerglings, eventually get a Baning nest. Of course, make the Roaches first and then use the additional larvae as Zerglings for reinforcements because they travel quicker. 3 Overlords queued up, Nate. I think True is going to be aggressive.
He's going to build a bunch of Roaches and go for a big Roach link push. I really
like it.
Yeah, well, you know me, man. The last thing I want to see is a macro game where players display their full array of skills. It's like, turn that music off. Get off
Can't
my
listen to that damn song anymore.
I mean, the queen was, and the, the overlord's like, well, you move even slower than me.
The Overlord does fall, but he has been listening to the good old Sweet Dreams Are Made of This by Euromedics, I believe, for quite a while. 8 roaches in production, 4 through, and I think exactly, Nate, what we thought was going to happen will happen. He's just going to run across the map with a lot of roaches. He's going to reinforce himself with speedlings. He might still throw down a bailing nest as well. I don't think he should be able to get this Overlord. No, he shouldn't. Man, Hydra has no idea that this is coming. I'm very worried for our root for root Zerg player over here. As this is the first time that he sees, okay, 2 Zerglings, that's not that scary.
Yeah, I mean, if you survive this with how fast your lair is, it's
Yeah,
like,
but, like,
sure, you're in a great position, but now...
He's making roaches himself. He still has not seen this.
Yeah,
Excellent pathing by True.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He has just a spine, not enough energy for...
Oh, my God. He has absolutely no idea. He is in the dark.
He'll have 1 transfuse, but
Pitch
this queen
dark.
is actually exposed.
Yes.
Oh, no! Turn around, queen!
Okay,
You have
this-
transfuse! We need you! We need you back home, baby girl.
I'm very worried. Army supply 42 against 22. This will be an... Oh, so sick. He's using the Zerglings to block the queen.
Oh,
Warcraft 3 micro,
that
son.
transfuse, that's like a game-winning transfuse if he's able to keep that queen alive potentially.
I think this is it. I think True is going to be able to run over Hydra over here. Hydra's still up in supply, but the majority of his units are in production. There are 10 roaches dancing in his natural.
Trickling roaches out against this is not going to cut it. He's going to need to pull a drones too, I imagine, and he will. Yeah, I guess he's going to get on top of the roaches behind his base, but he's still taking a significant amount of damage. Overall drone count still favors Hydra. He can afford to lose a few, but the question is, can he actually stop the reinforcing?
There's
roaches?
so many Zerglings. It would be an absolutely phenomenal hold if Hydra does it, and I'm almost starting to believe this evolution chamber is doing
He
some
does it.
serious work. He bought so
Yeah.
much time for himself.
And time is of the essence,
Are you kidding
Rotterdam.
me?
His +1 attack is almost ready, and his roaches will begin to
Wow.
do the Shrektoning themselves
Well,
on this Zerg army of True.
Oh my God, I think Hydra has done it. I think he's actually going to hold over here.
Oh, +1 attack. The roaches are going to 2-shot the lings. They're going to take 2 less hits to kill the other roaches, and that is a massive advantage. As True, he's just cranking out drones of his own.
Wow, he did not die. Rebuilding this
That's
evolution
impressive.
chamber was so important.
That's
because
really, really impressive.
yeah, because it alienated these these roaches from the rest of the forces and left them all by himself. And even though, Hydra was down in roaches and most of his roaches were about to pop, the drones were helping out so much. I love how this queen was just on a random adventure still killing overlords. But man, this game is actually going to continue with Hydra in a pretty okay position. He has +1, +2 is on the way, roach speed halfway done. Great hold by Hydra. Man, I really thought with 10 roaches in his natural he's just going to die there. Because roaches spawn 1 by 1 and these roaches just one-shot them. I thought it was going to be over, but rebuilding the wall, so good.
Yeah, that was really close. That's one of those situations where, like I said, he was way ahead on workers. At the end of the fight, he's only ahead. Well, he's even now, but he
Yeah.
was still
He
had
was
a
still
few more.
ahead, yep.
Yeah. So, but at that point, it happens in almost every mirror when you deal with early pushes like this, because even in PvP, pulling some workers in a situation like that can be worth it. Just buy yourself some time, because as long as you don't die, you're usually ahead for some other reason. And in this case, it was the lair.
What I don't really understand is why True didn't add the Baneling nest. Often you see the 10 roaches and then the Zerglings running across the map and a couple of Banelings.
I just feel like he wouldn't have been able to hit as fast or with as many roaches if he went for the Banelings. But
would've
I don't
been-
think Banelings are necessarily bad in that scenario.
It would have been a few seconds, and I think 4 Banelings can do a catastrophic amount
then
of
those
damage.
drones wouldn't have been terribly
Yeah.
useful.
Exactly. Anyways, that's just theory crafting. Maybe that style has fallen a little bit out of fashion. I know for a while it was popular. Gotta brush up my ZvZ knowledge, Nate. Does anyone else think Rotterdam should play way more Zerg? Every time I watch his stream, he's Protoss.
Yo, man, I gotta say, I had a really sick ZvZ. I don't know how often these Zergs play Terran, but this guy tried to kill me with the mass Banelings, and I just split. And the guy was like, "Who splits?" Like, you clearly never played Marine Marauder Medevac before.
I actually enjoy playing Zerg. I should get another account. It's just, right now it's a little difficult.
I actually, when I play ZvZ, I prefer the Roach, like the mass Roach stuff. When you're actually playing it, it's so much more
Yeah, I know.
engaging. But when you're playing Ling Bane, you're sweating the whole time because it only needs 1 Baneling hit on your Lings and you're done.
I know. I like playing Mutalisk myself in ZvZ. I think it's quite fun.
Oh, you play Muta as well.
I'm a Muta player.
An evil man. I don't lose to Mutas when I play ZvZ. Let's play best of
You
9.
want a challenge?
Let's go.
You want to have a challenge, son? You want to play ZvZ against me?
I'm actually excited about that.
Me too. I think
Make
that
it
would
happen.
be great.
Hydra's finishing his +2 and his +1
Why have we never
characters.
done that? Why have we never played ZvZ against each other? That sounds
Maybe
so
that's because no one likes watching series.
No, I actually think a ton of people would enjoy watching it.
That'd be cool.
Anyways, Hydra is streaming across the map. He did get a nice supply advantage. He has way more roaches. Of course, True has defender's advantage, but Hydra still has an upgrade more as well. I love how he's just moving those roaches as close as possible to the roaches of True. And Hydra, off the back of that phenomenal hold early game, is most likely going to win the game over here.
The upgrades are way too in favor now of Hydra. GG.
I thought he was dead in the water, Nate. I'm not gonna lie.
GG. Well played and well met, Rotterdam.
True is unfortunately eliminated of the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei, as he is the first player to fall from Group D, while Hydra will move on, where he still has a very tough challenge ahead of him, as he will play against the loser of Maru versus Parting. That is a series that is currently going on the mainstream. Nate, once again, phenomenal hold by Hydra. That was hard, man. He saw those roaches so incredible late. The first time he saw those roaches is when the queen was off creep.
Yeah, the queen that he, like, just imagine if he has that queen alive to help block the units from running by the spine and gets an extra transfuse, like.
No, you even said, like, that could have been game-winning transfuse. I was like, nah, I don't even think that queen would have saved it. And he hold without that queen.
Yeah, that's doubly impressive. I'm blown away. Really, really, really sick play by Hydra. Lesser man would have broken.
Yep. Awesome game, awesome series, and overall we've had a lot of fun bringing you guys a couple of series that were not featured on the mainstream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Once again, if you did, reach out to us, hashtag IEM. Make sure to follow IEM at Twitter as well. And of course, if you guys want to send personal tweets to us, you can do that, Rotterdam08 and Nathanias TV. That is pretty much going to be it for now. I could, theory craft over all the other groups. We can talk about the play as well. We're just going to tweet about it, and we're going to watch the mainstream, because the rest of this group will be played on the mainstream. That is twitch.tv/ESLTV_SE2. So the same URL as this one, but then minus the B at the end. And I think that's going to be it, Nate.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then, of course, the playoff bracket will be played out tomorrow. I believe they're starting at the same time. And then you can check out all the rest of the action for the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei. So far, I didn't see the results of the winners bracket match yet.
No, I think it's still going
do
on.
we still have a Terran? That's the real question.
I mean, there's definitely going to be a Terran.
Oh, it looks like they're doing an interview.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Well, I want to know who's won.
Who won?
Was it Maru or was it
we only see the interviewer's face. I'm like, who's the player there?
Oh, big boy Parting.
No Terran. Oh, wait. Maru can still win.
Yeah, Maru is going to play against Hydra. That's going to be up on the mainstream and stage, I guess. Once again, big shout out to the sponsors of the Intel Extreme Masters, of course Intel, but also HyperX, Gigabyte, Rocket, and BenQ. Without you guys, it wouldn't be possible to watch this awesome StarCraft around the world. Make sure to give them a tweet as well. And that is really going to be it, Nate. We're going to hop into our car, drive home, while Nate will keep me posted about what's happening in the final match of Group D. For now, we want to thank everyone for watching, and have a great night.